Feels great. Let's move on to our next spotlight speaker. He's here to talk about how shopping habits have evolved in this wonderful year. He's also a good friend. So let's welcome the COO of Shipper HQ, Quentin Montalto.
Hi, hey, Quentin. Darren, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
You ready to rock and roll and talk to us about shopping habits?
I'm ready.
All right, the floor is yours.
Took that whiskey break seriously.
What's that?
I took that whiskey break seriously.
Well, we'll be doing that very seriously soon ourselves.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Like they mentioned, my name is Quentin Montalto. I'm the COO of Shipper HQ. We are coming to you talking today about some of the shipping habits that we've seen so far in 2020. A little bit about Shipper HQ and who we are to kind of give you some context of where this presentation came from. Shipper HQ is an app that we plug into the cart and checkout. We drive the shipping experience that customers see. So whether that's things like showing an estimated delivery date or calculating rates or restrictive, everything that we see is in that cart and checkout. So we've got a really unique view of e-commerce, and especially over 2020. As 2020 has been going on, we've all had a lot of these I think of this, I think of that, I think of this. And if you know us, Shipper HQ, we're a pretty opinionated bunch on a lot of things. And what we decided to do with this was to do a survey. And we did a survey to 1,500 people, and we came down with 5 key takeaways. And that's what I'm here to talk to you guys about. So the first one sounds kind of simple. You know, it's customer centric. Put the customers first. Each one of these, we're going to go into more detail here in just a sec. I was told to read these all verbatim. So, hey, here's where we are. Make shipping a priority. Making lasting changes to your customer experience. We've talked a lot through some of these throughout other presentations. Here's my spin on it, what I'll share with you guys. Understanding what customers want to buy with you, and also taking advantage of the opportunity. So those are the 5 things that we're going to talk about today. So from there, you may be thinking, where is this data coming from? Did you guys just take all those opinions and then make a slide deck? No, we didn't. So we interviewed 1,500 different people all throughout the United States, half male, half female, back in September, and we came up with this data. Now, everything we're going to be presenting here is a part of our Q4cast winter survey. It's available in the Slack channel. Our marketing team did a great job. My favorite thing about this, besides the data, are the graphics. The graphics throughout here are my favorite graphics we've done yet. So as you see these, there's a lot more really fun ones in there. So let's get into the first one that we talked about. Obviously, we're talking about putting customers first. It's really important to understand what trends and what things customers are and aren't liking. In this particular instance, one of the things that really jumped out at me, you'll see there's 45% of customers prefer to pick up locally. That's really interesting. I thought that number was going to be a little bit lower, but it turns out, hey, customers want to go around. As we're stuck in our houses and as we can make that one little day trip, people are liking it. People are wanting to go pick those items up. They're wanting to know where that is. The second one is the one that I've probably been preaching for about 5 years. So if you've heard of Shipper HQ or you've heard me speak, transparency is one of the things that I'm really happy about. I feel like in some ways this has validated what we do and what we preach to customers, and it's all about transparency. The reason, Shannon called out this earlier in his presentation, the reason Amazon hit a trillion wasn't because they have a beautiful site. Their site sucks. Like, I'm probably gonna have like one of those Amazon dogs come grab me, but it's not great. The thing they nail is transparency. And back in, I say Q2 because I work in business, but back in March and April and all those times, everything we really wanted to know, and the reason we were shopping on Amazon is it showed when it would come. So we could say, okay, hey, I know I need this item and it's going to come on this day. That's what made that such an important and such an impactful thing for how they got to the point they're at so far this year. So showing them when that item is going to arrive, 82% of people really want to know that number. It's not a hard thing to do. Anybody can do it. Don't think it's just for them. One of the most interesting things I love about it as well is 44% said they'd actually pay more for that information. There's a really great way that what we can do as merchants and as partners is we can make sure that we're upselling that expedited method. Show ground just to say, hey, it'll get there when it gets there. But if you really want this package, add 20% to it, add some cost to that. And obviously safety, it's the going thread of this entire year and the entire presentation. So we'll go ahead and leave that one off. It is important though. Safety is important. So let's talk about making shipping a priority. I'm one of the shipping guys that we had besides Chris, who absolutely killed it on the panel. Love seeing fellow shipping people represent. Speedy options. Because people can't go window shopping as much as they used to, it's kind of negated the whole sort of like, I'm going to go walk around the store. The equivalent to me in that mind is that expedited shopping. Get it there as fast as possible. 68% of millennials want that overnight shipping. Now, whether that's something to help them get through the night, they want to buy makeup to do TikTok videos, whatever that is, we want it now. That's the world that we live in. I think that by the time in the next couple of years, the same way when you're waiting for your Uber, your Lyft, all those things, that's going to be the specificity we're going to be able to get down to that level because we want those items as soon as possible. One of my favorite things and one of my favorite terms, I think, in e-commerce that's come up in the last 2 years is porch pirates. I don't know if everybody know what that is. Those are those people that you see on the Amazon Ring videos that people are putting on Facebook watch groups of some random person grabbing a package off their porch. My favorite term of all time. 54% of people have said they've had a package stolen at least once so far this year. That to me is pretty crazy. There's a few things that people are doing around it is still shipping, but it's a little bit unique. And those are alternative pickup locations. And we'll get a little bit more into that. The final one, and the one that I know it's the holy grail, the question I get asked the most about is about free shipping. 91% of shoppers say that's what they want. Give them a goal, make them work towards it. I was telling somebody earlier, the thing I always add to a cart when I'm shopping online is socks. Like that's my one thing. Socks are usually like $6 and I'm usually off about $6. And I'll think, you know what? I'll take 2 more pairs of socks. All right, so let's talk about some of the lasting changes. I alluded towards this earlier, talking about curbside pickup and alternative pickup locations. There's a car on this slide. I wanted to talk about on this slide in particular because I like that car a lot. One of the things that's the most interesting is as things have been changing, people are saying 88% of the people, they want to keep those same shopping habits. They want to understand where those items are. They want to understand different ways they can get it. Curbside delivery is always been big. We've seen it for a long time, but for Q2 and Q3 from a Shipper HQ perspective, that's been our most added feature. I actually think of a story that we did with Adobe. It was a success story of a customer called Gertrude Hawk Chocolates. They launched e-commerce in March. And as you hear, people are saying e-commerce has lifted 5 years in advance. They were going to do BOPIS a little bit later on in 2021, but because of what happened, it forced their hand. So they got that enabled and they saved up to 60% of their Easter business just because they knew and they saw the need for flipping that on. And that's something that they're now keeping. They're not turning it off for a bit. They're keeping that on. And that is now strategically something that they're going to ride throughout the holiday season. So it's really great to see things like that. On that same note, they're saying the percentage of that is around 26% of people that are actually going to keep that, which I thought was pretty crazy. And one of the most interesting things, we talked about this before, is alternative pickup solutions. Alternative pickup solutions aren't just curbside delivery. They're not just, local. There's a few things that they have. UPS has a program like this called Access Points, and FedEx has one called Hold It Delivery, Hold It Location. What these are is where they send that package to a local area, a local store in your area that's signed up, and you can go pick your packages up right there. It was a really, really crucial thing in April and May for some businesses because they knew, hey, I don't need to take the load. We're all talking about Shipageddon. It's easier for them to deliver these packages to these businesses. I'll stop there and get my essentials. I'll get my 49th roll of toilet paper, and I'll pick up the Amazon package for what I needed. So that's a really great thing that we're going to see sticking around for a long time. The biggest uptick of that has been the number of locations. Also during COVID, some stores marked themselves as pickup locations to make sure they would stay as essential businesses. So it's a great service even for that. This is a really interesting one that I didn't really think of. So understand what customers want to buy from you. We have a customer that sells, they're in kind of a weird rut right now, but they sell fog machines for music venues. And one of the things they also sold on their site was hand sanitizer and cleaner. What they found was that their customers were digging through the product pages to find that sanitizer, and they were crawling around the website and they were searching for it, and they're searching for it because these people and these roadies or these bands who bought fog machines from them knew, hey, these guys sell hand sanitizer too. What they did was really interesting was as they put that to the forefront of their website, they became a hand sanitizer company that also sold stage equipment instead of a stage equipment that for some reason sold hand sanitizer. It was really important for them to know what customers are shopping for. There's some really interesting stats down there that you'll see. I think a lot more people are buying, for example, food and cleaning supplies than ever. I've never once in my entire life bought cleaning supplies online, but I did buy some Honest wipes, and I thought, you know what, I need some wipes. I don't want to go maybe get my arm cut off at a store, so I'll order that online. So it's really interesting for merchants to make sure that they're curating that experience and putting them to the top. There's great tools, Shopify just mentioned a few of them. Use those to make sure we're putting those items up top and they're on the right shelf. Like I said, these graphics are amazing, and there's even more data around this particular subject. in our holiday study. Take advantage of the opportunity. I think this is a thing that every single person in the industry has been saying in every one of their panels, so I'm obligated to say that. But it's really important to take the learnings that we've had here. As I said, e-commerce has accelerated 5 years in 1 year, or in months of this year. It's really important to dissect what's most important to your store and see how you can keep that, build that, or adapt it to fit you guys even a little bit better. But one of the most interesting things that we've seen is the buying. Some people are saying they're going to buy more this year. Hey, I'm going to buy more. But the biggest thing we're seeing is people are buying sooner. So it's not just the whole, we're going to rely on Amazon and get it here next day. That same learning on stores, shop sooner and shop early. There is more information on this, like I said, in our next slide. It'll highlight that. We have a full report on this. It's our holiday Q forecast. It's got all kinds of incredible data. I definitely recommend flipping through it. It's in our Slack channel. If you guys have any questions about how to set expectations or anything that I talked about, you'd like to hear more data, find me in the Slack channel or shoot me an email. I love email. I love talking on the phone. I kind of like talking in general. So reach out to me and I'm happy to help any way I can. Thank you all so much. And thank you for having us at Ecom Forum.
Thank you, Quentin. Appreciate it. Talking about the lasting changes customers can make or that merchants can make to support the customer experience is great. So thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure.